Live from the city of Los Angeles. It's your boy, man. What's good, man? It is 11 November 7th, 2023, man. Live in the building. Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. I am your host, Duane. This is the weekly tap in, and I am tapping in. What is good, folks? People's loved ones, family members, however you like to describe yourself. I appreciate you tapping in with me as always, man. I could not do it without you guys, man. My audience is everything, man. I hate to disappoint you, so I try to bring it every single time. So thank you for tapping in. Excuse me, if this is your first time, put in where you tapping in from, man. If you're watching on YouTube, wherever the case may be, man, we love to hear from you. So, man, today's topic was going to be on customer service. It was, man. I promise you, I had all my intentions on putting my professor hat on, getting to talking a bunch of customer service stuff. And I'm like, man, my listeners don't want to hear that shit. They don't. I said, if they wanted to hear customer service stuff from me, they would ask me. And if they wanted to hear customer service stuff from me, they can go find it from somebody who specializes in that. I think I'm really good, but I think I'm a better motivator. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stick with what I'm really, my gift or what I'm really good at, which is motivation, right? I'll throw a little business in there, I'll throw a little street in there, but it's really about just getting you guys to think to the next level. That's what it's really about, is thinking to the next level. It's not the physical part will come. That's it starts with the mind. The mind controls everything else. So if you're mentally stuck or if you're not ready to take that next step in life, you know what I'm saying? Not only toward your dreams, but in life in general, yeah, man, your body's not going to do anything. So the thing what I suggest for you to do, or what's working for me is, o- well, let me start here. The reason again why I didn't do customer service is because I feel like there's other people that can do it better than me. So I was going to talk about, how you should do business and this and this and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of times people can't even get to the point to where they're opening the business. It's not so much about just customer service. It's like, I can't even mentally get off the ground even thinking about serving a customer, man. I don't even know how to open my stuff. I can't even move. I'm stuck in my job or whatever the case may be. And it's like, man, all this stuff. And I keep telling y'all, and I'm looking, it's not so much me telling you. Now I'm looking at research and I'm just finding out, like, the requirements, what's involved in, pursuing your dreams. You know what I mean? I'm in the process, so I'm explaining what's going on with me, but at the same time, I'm studying individuals and seeing what their steps were. So this is episode number 13 of season 5, all inclusive gratitude. All inclusive gratitude. And when we think about what all inclusive gratitude means, for example, when you think about an all inclusive, whatever hotel, what does that include? It includes everything that comes with it, right? You shouldn't have to come out the pocket. You shouldn't have to, do any of that stuff. Oh, my phone's going crazy, right? You shouldn't have to do any of that stuff. So, same thing holds true with all inclusive gratitude, right? Everything is included. There's nothing left out. There's nothing that's gonna make you come up short or something that you have to actually go and say, oh man, I don't know what to be thankful for. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's start off with taking 10 seconds, and it might sound like eternity, 10 seconds, and thinking of everything that you're thankful for in this moment, right? In this moment, right? Analyzing that, right? And just being super thankful, like, man, I'm glad I got this, or I'm glad I could do this. And let's just take that 10 seconds of gratitude and silence and just saying, man, God, good looking. Ready, set, go. So you should have probably came up with easily 10 things or a thing per second, right? That seems like it's tough to do to come up with that many things to be gracious for. And, the thing when I'm at like, it most of the things that I'm talking about are, like, seem like they're super simplistic. But what I'm finding is that the more complicated things are, for instance, I'm seeing somebody, the truck driving lady just got in trouble or whatever, like, she got caught saying that, it wasn't the truth and had people buying her seminars and courses, et cetera, and I'm like, "Don't buy a course, you guys, just listen to what," like Jay-Z said, "Don't don't take dinner with me, go take the money, like, go," you know what I'm saying? Like, do something different. We giving you everything you need to know, it's giving you for free. You shouldn't have to buy any of this stuff. If you have to buy somebody's course, if you have to do you might as well go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna buy courses, buy a course that's transferable. Like, I'm still trying to figure, I'm like, man, and I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but it can't your hustle can't be dependent upon people being naive. First of all, you know what I'm saying? If your hustle's dependent upon that, your hustle's based on a flimsy foundation. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be upon based on manipulating people or taking advantage of anyone. So if you set up like that, that's gonna be foul number one, right? So I'm looking at cats. That's why I haven't developed a course because I'm like, why am I gonna sell this to anybody? This is stuff that anybody can get. I just gotta lead them to like that. Like, that's just, oh man, I got water rights. Okay, you got water rights, cool, but you're not gonna, if people thirsty, you ain't gonna let them come drink on your property. Not if they can. Nah, bruh. That's not how God works. That's not what the agreement him and I made. Right? I'm not charging for game. I'm just not. There's no need to, right? Because one, the people who need the game the most probably don't have it. So why would you want to take advantage of that? Two, you don't know if the shit's gonna work for them. So why would you charge them? You don't know if it's gonna work. These cats is charging $99. Some people going astronomical, and they understand this whole, money manipulate charging astronomical prices. You like, the more it is, the more. Yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that somebody knows is somewhere out there on the internet, somewhere out there in somebody's book. Somewhere out there in a little bit of your faith. You can A lot of times you can't duplicate. You know what I'm saying? You can't duplicate things, homie. You that's the I think that's the name of the game. Is like, people think, giving is always monetary. It's not, man. Game, what you learn. What can I go take and flip? Okay, well, I could take that advice. D told me, man, I should probably or I had a question about XYZ. Like, cats, anybody has a question about, perhaps once we get finished with the restaurant, you could ask me. Tour, ask me, open book, whatever you want to know, man. You want to walk down there and do it? Let's go do it together. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, let me tell you the steps that I did in order to accomplish this goal. This is what I did. I went down there, got my CDL. I took my test in this kind of truck. I did this. I went and got this insurance. I went down here and did the test. I go talk to this dude. You need your interior done, blah, 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 whatever. Man, what? It's enough. It's not like that. I don't have to charge for game. It ain't the end of the world for me to say my last hurrah or hustle, homie. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? You said so many people pour into. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's true. That's what I mean. Like, if nobody gave us game, you know what I mean? And that's my uncle talking right there too, man. I see you out there you know what I mean? But if nobody passed it on to us, like I think about all the game my dad gave me. I was listening to Rich Paul talk about what he learned from his dad. My dad taught me how to shoot dice. My dad taught me how to, and he was just like, basically, my dad taught me how to take risks. And I'm like, man, so did mine. My dad taught me all that stuff and how not to get manipulated or cheated. You know what I mean? Because those people are out there as well. So I mean, there was a lot of game being traded, and most of the stuff that I learned, I didn't have to pay for. Cook and work, didn't have to pay for that. You know what I mean? The homie, it was a roundabout kind of way it happened at my house, but we was from that point we was bubbling. So there's certain things you like, man, I didn't have to, somebody told me this, somebody nudged me. And that's God. God doesn't charge for game. Irrespective of so many people that try to tell you as such. No, man, that shit is all inclusive. So be all inclusive, gracious about it. Everything that you go through is for your good and for your benefit and is a gift to you. Right. So let's walk around with graciousness. Right. I appreciate that, man. You ever run around and people that are just so thankful? They almost feel soft, and even though you haven't touched them like physically, but they just feel like felt and velvet, and you know what I mean? They just like, man, they good to be around. They just got that good energy. And that's kind of what I'm thriving to be or trying to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get there. It's work in progress. But I'm trying to get to the point to where I'm just everything, I'm just gracious for every little thing there is. I'm talking about the wind, the air, taking it down to that level, right? Just a being in all total appreciation mode. And when you wake up like that, when you wake up with gratitude, like, man, this is, you know what? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Even like even if you wake up in the pen, you know what I'm saying? I've had them days where I wake up and I'm sitting there and I'm like, the average person would think I'm done, but I'm like, man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I got a date. You know what I mean? I'm healthy. I'm not dead. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting, I'm like, man, I'm good, good. And I think it takes sometimes for you to get things taken away from you, really to start appreciating really the things that are around you that most people take for granted. For instance, ice water, right? Ice water is not a common thing in jail. That's not something that's given, right? So it's one of those things that refrigerators, you know what I mean? Those aren't in. So you start to look at those things that people constantly take for granted, and you're not. Walking around parks, man. And this park, man, I just want to go for a walk and the beach, and you start had that stuff taken away from you. So when you think about, going to prison, going to jail, sometimes that subtraction gave you so much addition because you now have a different appreciation for what's around you. I promise you, you do. And if you don't, you know what I mean. You may not. You may not have had it done right, right? You know what I'm saying? You may have went in there and enjoyed it. Like, I got a loved one going through that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, dad, they twisting. There's my son. Dad, they doing this. I'm like, man, it ain't supposed to be fun, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be like that. I said, if it was supposed to be fun, you might mess around and go back. I said, you supposed to hate it. It's supposed to do you dirty. It's supposed to push you out of there so that you don't want nothing to do with it anymore. That's what it should be doing to you, homie. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be kicking on, man. You make the best out of things. But there still should be some mental cleansing going on at the same time while you behind them walls and gates, right? So that you think clearly when you come home and you're more appreciative, first of all, of your freedom. That's the number one thing. Most cats been to jail, pen, prison, county, juvenile hall, whatever you want. They understand having that stuff taken from you and living close to a freeway or living close to a neighborhood where you see people functioning normally and you can't. You know what I'm saying? So when you start thinking like, man, what's the basic stuff? Cold bologna sandwiches, they give you that in there. But to sit down at a basic ass Applebee's or something like that, you in mad enjoyment. So that's the thing, when you deprive for so long, you appreciate every damn thing. What people say, cook for you, da 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 da. And that's one of the problems when we lightweight get it, right? We start getting that appreciation mode. We start looking to the left and to the right, even though this stuff is what we asked for. We have. We asked for this TV, even though it's gotten old and raggedy. We asked for it, right? But then we stopped asking. You get complacent and you stop asking, and then you start to become resentful to the things that he's already granted for you. You start to look at it like, ah, man, this what man, this ain't nothing. Ah, such and such. Well, such and such is asking for stuff. You're complaining about what you have and not asking for things that can help you get to the future stuff that you're trying to get to. So you got to start asking God for futuristic things. God, What's up, man? That'd be a good idea if we did this. Man, let's try and let it come when it comes. You know what I'm saying? Act like it's already here though. That's one of the keys to appreciation. You act like it's already here. Man, I know, and think optimistically. You got to put that stuff in the air, not only in the air verbally, but mentally. Ah, man, let me think it into existence. You know what I'm saying? Let me think it into, and I'm like, I'm starting to get excited. Like even when I was just talking to my wife, I'm like, man, I'm ready to buy some rice cooker. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do all this stuff now because I'm like, we getting close to that time. You know what I'm saying? And you can something's becoming more tangible. And when it comes like that, that's because we've been trying. And now let me be 100% honest. There've been times where you question it. You like, man, is this really going to happen? Is this? And you don't get out of graciousness and you don't get out of gratitude. You kind of start, but you start to look and say, damn, is this? You know what I mean? And not really realizing that even though it may seem like this isn't part of the process, it is. That's the crazy part about it. It's part of the process. Even the low part, right? How are you gonna handle the low part? What are you gonna do when nothing moves, right? And that's the key. What can you do when nothing's going your way or the way you expected it to go? And a lot of times what God's saying to you is, man, hey homie, you're supposed to be doing something else. You're supposed to be working on this other stuff that's gonna be needed, that will be needed, but you don't even realize that you're gonna need it later. So why don't you start working on it now while I'm giving you time? Right? Things may not go as according to plan. You're like, man, this is a delay here. This is taking too long. Da 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 da. Yeah, man, but cars breaking down prevent you from accidents. You don't know what God's preventing you from. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with it. I'm in all gratitude. Everything happens for the good. And the more you practice that thought process, the more you train your brain to think, this is for the good. Let me see the silver lining in this. Right? Because it may not even be a silver lining. It may be that's what it is. It's not even a lining. These clouds just may be clouding something that is hiding the real beauty and what God is trying to show me in this quote unquote difficulty. Because there's jewels in every single difficulty, right? It may be just working on your patience, right? I'm an impatient person, and it may be working on your patience, right? It may be working to say, you know what? I'm not going to just give you a gift right now. I'm going to do it on your dad's birthday, right? Because my dad's birthday coming up, my mom's birthday coming up. That's how God get down. Like, man, I got you. It's gonna be better than you thought. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing about God. He's on some. It's gonna be better than you thought. Shit. No matter what you think, it's gonna be better than what you thought. And we could think, oh man, I thought this dope stuff. I wanted the house over here. I wanted this. He like, yeah, but what I got for you is gonna be way better than what you think. Trust me on that. Almost like that's why I talk to my son. I tell my youngest all the time, like, man, don't trip. I got you. It's gonna be better than what you think. And he thinking, oh, yeah, oh man, dad, yeah, I got you. I'm thinking ahead for you. I'm not gonna give you what you asked for, but give you what I know you gonna go nuts for, right? What you deep down desire. And that God knows you better than anybody. So he knows that. So you gotta get in the mode to where, man, you embrace it all, right? This is where we build our 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 skin. This is where we build our tenacity. This is where we develop ourselves. Shit gets crazy. I'm telling you, it gets ugly. But you got work to do, right? When it's raining, you're supposed to go inside, you're supposed to be doing something. When it's not, you maybe go outside, you're supposed to be doing something. Let's take it back to the village days. Right? So what can you be doing? Just chilling? Okay. Maybe you do that. Right? Maybe you write. Maybe you start working on math problems. Maybe you start working on grammar. Right? You know what you need to do. Right? And make it remind you. In the book Atomic Habits, they talk about habit stacking. And I've talked about habit stacking before to y'all. You have to do that, have it down. I got a computer down there somewhere. I go down there and chill and get my kicking on. I'm doing Khan Academy, literally for hours at night, just chilling, and nobody knows it. And only reason I'm telling y'all is just because you can do that kind of stuff too on the low. I don't put that out there. Today I was in support mode. I was just going around trying to support homies. And this is like I'm just trying to become a better human, homie. You know what I mean? And then when you become a better human, other things come to you. They gravitate towards you, become a magnet for just goodness. And that's really what I'm working on, homie. That's it. And I'm thankful and I've been in gratitude mode for a minute now. It's been good. Like I'm really like my Camry. I've been really in gratitude mode about my Camry, dog. My Camry's money. It's old, but the AC works good. The Bluetooth works good. Everything works. It's a champ. We done drove it to Fresno. We done drove it to San Diego multiple times. It's just, I love it. It's comfortable. Big back seat. You know what I'm saying? It's just like internet. I don't need anything else to just like I'm like God good looking. This I'm straight, man. Like, man, jeez. You keep blessing me. Right? I got the woman I want, the kids I want. I live in the town I want. Man, jeez. I'm in the job I love. And sometimes you can look at it if you compare yourself to other people, like, man, I ain't doing shit. But if you compare it to where you were last year and 5 years from now, man, pat yourself on the back and thank you know what at a guy. Good looking. I was toe back or I was broke or I was, you know what I'm saying? But I'm up now. Or I'm going through it and I know this storm ain't gonna last forever. Impossible. Storms don't last forever. They blow through stuff. Or vice versa. The world doesn't stop spinning. The storm is may be where it goes. Right? So we can't stop just based on a little bit of turbulence, homie. We can't turn flight based on, oh man, it's shaky. So what? This is part of that. The people that make it don't tell anybody until you get over there and talk to them. But the people that retreat, they tell you, man, watch when you get to this zone. It's shaky as I don't know what, homie. Watch when you get here. Well, what'd you do? What happened after that? Well, I didn't do anything after that. I quit. What you mean you quit? Ah, man, that was it. I turned around, man, and said, man, I'm gonna go turn it back in and try something safe. The hell does that mean? That means that I ain't doing it, right? And the people that make it through, they like, yeah, man, that's just once you make it through, yeah, how long did you stay in that? You was only there for a few minutes. Oh, yeah, man, it's nothing. Then once you get out of that, you're breezing on home. Why doesn't everybody do that? Yeah, because as soon as they see some resistance, they turn around, they go tell everybody else. And we don't come back. That's the funny part is they don't come back. You know, people always say, man, why don't you? Nah, man, come up here. You got to come over here. I'll tell you everything you know, but I can't keep going back. You got to come up with me, man. Come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, to be thankful for every move on this ladder. You need them all. You can't skip them, man. You'll bust your lip, chin, all that. You can't skip nothing. So be thankful for the drama. Be thankful for everything that happened in your life. No regrets. If you understand and regrets, watch The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. It'll show you something about living with regret or trying to go back and trying to change something and watch the chain of events that follow. Can't do it. So you got to be happy with where you were born. You got to be happy with who you were born to. Even if it like some people sit up there and be like, man, I grew up with no parents. Da, 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 da. I'm like, man, you don't know if that was necessarily that might be a blessing. Everybody with parents, like you got parents, different kind of parents. I fortunately had some great parents, but at the same time, not everybody did. So you can't a lot of times thinking, oh man, I switched positions with this cat. Like I was listening to Matthew Perry, the dude from Friends that passed away, and he was doing an interview with somebody, like before he passed a couple years back, and he was like, yeah, you know, they were talking about his mom and his dad, and you could instantly tell as soon as they start talking about his mom and his dad, he sunk. Right? He just instantly you could hear it in his voice, like he just went 6 inches lower. And I was like, damn, I heard that. I felt him drop. I was like, oh. Your parents, he was like, they was like, yeah, you see your parents on TV. He's like, yeah, I saw my mom all the time. She was like the press secretary for Trudeau's dad or like the prime minister. So basically, somebody who was on TV literally every week in Canada because the dude was from Canada. And then he was like, my dad was, if you ever seen the Old Spice commercials back in the day, they had the guy get off the boat, the white guy, or whatever the case may be. And he was like, man, he was so nice of looking and da 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 da. And then the lady was like, well, how did you feel you looked on camera? He was like, and he paused. I was like, "Whoa, another one." I'm like, this shit sound brutal. You know what I mean? But it just go to show you, like, quote unquote, those should be amazing parents, right? One of them's an actor, the other one's the president's secretary for the most press secretary. So there's connections up to yin yang wherever you want to go. But at the same time, there's tons of pressure, right? You don't know if they were around. You don't know if he was raised by the nanny who was an asshole. You don't know anything, right? We make these assumptions that the grass is greener on the other side, as opposed to appreciating our little square. You know what I'm saying? We think their big, giant, huge backyard is way better than our little tiny square. And I always say, man, a lot of times these houses aren't filled with love. They're big, but your little tiny space may have more love than everything in their little, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't, you gotta appreciate the not only the experiences, but the people that are in your life. They're there for a reason. Even if you cut some of them off, they were there to show you something. You know what I'm saying? That you can have the ability to move on, that you don't need certain people to still thrive. You don't need certain people to move. There's certain people in you that you don't need in your life. For real, whether they blood or not. They're not good for your health. They bring out certain energies in you. Let that go. You know what I'm saying? People are humans and life is short. You dig what I'm saying? So my thing is this, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's get on a challenge. Let's get on an appreciation ride. Well, you know what? I'm just, man, good looking, man. The weather's gravy. I don't care if it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's cold, windy. Man, good looking for all of it because it's different. And it's a gift because I get to see it. I get to touch it. It's tangible. I get to taste it. Right? Now, good food, sitting there enjoying food instead of rushing through the process. Slow our ass down, say our graces, right? Thank God, man. God, good looking for this food, man. Good looking for this bed, right? Man, this TV is money, man. My PS5, whatever you have. Just start looking around and understanding that everything that you immediately when you looking around right now, if you sit in your car, if you watching this on your phone, good looking, God. Man, I could be toe up right now. I could be so many things but right here. But you got me right here, guy. Healthy, skin glowing. You know what I'm saying? I got my grill. You could go, you know what I'm saying? Just go. I could just, man, this right here though, homie. For me, and you could ask my wife. I'm constantly talking about how good water and thankful. Man, God, good looking. I got an ice machine in my house. Man, God, I don't need that. I just need ice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't take much, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't take much. You know what I mean? And it like sometimes we get caught up in how fast life is moving and we just like, man, slow down and man, appreciate it. My daughter taught me that. She walks and she notices everything. She notices spiders, she notices ants, but she slows life down and she looks at the flowers. Literally, she slow down. I see a flower. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's what we need to be on. You know what I mean? That innocent. I just appreciate all this stuff, God. Like the colors, the vibrant colors, the differences in people. Man, it'd be boring if we didn't have differences. Like, man, good looking, God. Like like it could be so different. You know what I'm saying? And like good looking for my opportunity. I know it's hard. Like I was the other night, I was just sitting there looking like, man, I'm doing a bunch of hard shit that I'm probably that the failure rate is extremely high. You know what I'm saying? Like the failure rate is super high, but I'm still like, thank you, God, for letting me try. I don't care. I'm beyond embarrassment. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing it for, right? So when you know you're doing something, the results are irrelevant, right? When we talk about that, we've had conversations about intention for many moons, right? That's my deal. So when you moving forward, you like, man, if I fail, so what? I tried my ass off, dog. I did everything I could. That was it. You know what I'm saying? I'm busting my like even when I retake this GMAT. I'm like, man, I'm doing everything. If I don't get a good score, I'm like, shit. I'm gonna keep trying. I'll do it again. But I'm getting a PhD. You know what I'm saying? It will be Dr. Cofield popping, period. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's me speaking into existence and forcing myself to say, okay, tonight, yeah, you and Khan Academy tonight, you know what I mean? You taking a practice test, or tonight you're gonna learn this, you're gonna learn this type of research, and Nova, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But you commit to it, you start talking about it, you put it out there to the universe, you put it out there to your tribe, because I consider y'all my tribe. So I put it out there to my tribe to hopefully pass some more of that energy to you guys. Like say, hey man, my energy's contagious, dog. I could turn it up or turn it down for you. I can come on here and complain and talk about how the world is perceived to be bad, or I could talk about how gravy it is, and ideas and thoughts and books and suggestions and smiles and energies and all this good stuff. And it's not foo-foo stuff. Trust me on that. You know what I mean? Energy is contagious. I felt people come around and didn't there was I remember in the game I could feel cats. I feel them. This dude right here, he all I don't know when it's gonna happen, but hopefully it ain't me that does it. So let me get on about my business. You know what I'm saying? So, and you could sense energy once you start to realize your superpowers, right? And if you haven't listened to that episode, that is a shameless plug. Go ahead and listen to that, man. How thoughts can be your superpowers. Because that is so true, right? You think things into existence. All this stuff, this podcast, this equipment, like all this stuff I thought about. And I'm God, man, look, man, God got me this mic, man. I had this mic for 4 or 5 years now. Love it. My camera, 4 or 5 years. I don't do I need what I need? I'm beyond good. This is I'm telling y'all, man. I'm like, that's about as basic as it gets, but it's about as real as it gets, homie. That's it. What else you need? You know what I mean? You start looking at that, and you get caught up into where you got a needs thing. I'm always in man, what's next? Oh, that's not that ain't enough. That's a drug. That's a habit. You'll be doing that forever. You know what I mean? Constantly looking for the next thing instead of slowing that ass down and saying, man, let me peep what I have. Let me see where I'm at. Let me assess my situation. Or as I tell my students, let me do a situation analysis, right? Put a SWOT on that ass, right? For real. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we need to do an assessment to say, man, what do I already possess? Since I'm running around miserable because I don't have what I think I don't have, let me do an inventory check. You know what I mean? Oh man, I'm okay. I got both my eyes, my arms work. Okay, damn. Right. I can walk to the store. I got a few dollars in my pocket. I can buy something. I can go buy a pack of bacon. I know it sounds basic, right? But I'm saying you got the ability to do these things, man. God, you got to get in the habit of thanking him for the small shit. So when the big shit comes, you already know what time it is. You're gonna be doing podcasts about how great God is when the big stuff comes, like this, right? Serious business because you like, man, I gotta give back, dog. God been giving me way too much. I'm like, man, he got this scale teetered so in his favor. I'm like, man, I'll be doing this podcast forever, for real, because I know that this is the situation, man. God. And what do I talk about 90% of the time on here? Not 60, not 40, 90% of the time, God is on my tongue. Because I know that you listen to Puff, you listen to Jay Prince, you listen to Jay-Z, everybody says the same thing. Once you get to, and I'm not, and believe me, I'm not on there, I'm nowhere near that, man. I'm not, what he say? He said something funny. I heard him say on the lyric, like, you're not there yet. And I'm like, no, that was kind of for me, dog. I know I'm not there yet, but that's okay. right? I got my eye on the right cat, right? If I've been following Jay-Z since since 96, and I'm following the right one. He ain't fell off yet. He didn't, he seems like he's talked his way to what he is now. He was talking about a billion, all this stuff. Now he got 2.5 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's the one that talks about being appreciative for every moment that you have, right? Nipsey also says the same thing, man. He went through every emotion. And when you on the other side of that, once you finish and you like, man, I'm good. You walking around and you walk different, right? You speak different. You have a different level of confidence about yourself. So no matter what the situation is, job, business, whatever, you have this confidence in you. And confidence is 90% of the game. I promise you, whether it's sports, whatever, it's the confidence, right? The other stuff you can figure out the technical aspects, and a lot of times people wing that shit. But most of it is confidence. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself winning? Are you going through a mental picture, right? And that's where it lies, man. How confident are you? If you're confident, you're gonna walk around and be an appreciated mode. Good looking guy, man. I'm straight, man. No matter what you look like, because it's all beauty. So it's not one, oh man, I look this. How you wearing it, homie? Same, it's like a spade game. Man, are you appreciating all you you just looking for spades? Okay. I can make these hearts in, I can make these hearts work, I ain't gonna make these clubs walk. If I really know what I'm doing, right? So no matter what kind of hand God gives me, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna get my bucks. Period. For my spade players. But you already know what I mean. You can't trip. I ain't getting no spades. Okay, well, shit. The cat with the spades might get set. You don't know that just because somebody got dealt a certain a perceived healthier hand doesn't mean they don't know what to do with it. Doesn't mean they're gonna thrive. And you don't wish nothing on nobody else. It's none of your spiritual business. But what you do pay attention to is what kind of cards you have in your hand. What I got in my hand, guy. What kind of gifts you give me? Okay, club, hard, diamond. Okay, you got me loaded up with this other stuff. Okay. But what am I learning in the process? How to work magic, right? How to work magic with what I have. Not the ultimate layout, not the deck already laid out for me, not the plan already put in place because my dad did it, my uncles did it, my grandfather did it. Nah, I'm the one. I'm the one that's setting it off. I'm the one that's starting this shit. I'm the one. That's the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is confidence is gonna get me to that point, and I'm thankful for the hand that I have. I need to be, I want to be the one. I don't want to be the one that's sitting there looking at it like, damn, my mom and dad already had a chicken place, and I just came in here working their place, and the little spoiled kid, and then I'll take over. No, 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 no. I don't know what my parents were gonna do, but this is what we're getting ready to do right now. You know what I'm saying? And thankful they had the vision to take me to where they needed to take me, or else I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now. Hence that butterfly effect conversation. You know what I'm saying? We can't worry about what didn't happen. We got to appreciate what we have now in the deck that we playing with, the hand we being dealt. It's gonna be a healthy hand no matter what because God put it in your hand, even if you got to work magic with it and He don't. The fact that he's not learning how to work magic might put him more in a deficit that even if he gets a hand that's gravy, he still messed that shit up. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm telling you. So man, this one was real to me. You feel me? You know what I mean? And I don't, like I said, I don't go technical for that ass, man. For what? You guys can look that up. I want you to, when you leave this podcast, I want you to feel like new money, like a fresh ass dollar bill. When you come up out of there, I want you to feel confident, crispy, and feel like you can go accomplish anything, right? And always do one favor for me, right? Be thankful, but more importantly, make one move. I don't care what it is, dog. Make one move towards your goals and dreams. Writing something down, taking a test, signing up for this, getting a free this, da 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 da. Whatever it is, homie, push that line. Please, please do. So what I'm listening to right now is I'm listening to The Food of America. I'll show you guys 1 second. Let me pull up my Audible. and I'm just getting some more inspiration. It's one of those things, man. You gotta take inspiration as it comes. I just finished um the Outliers, which was, hey man, Outliers is next level. Outliers is next level. So if you want to, you can definitely try to look at Outliers. I got one credit left. I bought that book. So now what I did do was I returned that Rare Breed book. That wasn't that good of a book. So just letting you know, that's why I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to share that with you guys because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be reading it. So I didn't, and that's that. So let me show you guys where it is. This is pretty good though, book. I haven't finished on pretty much finished it. So the Outliers, um, amazing, really good book, really thought provoking. Like it explains a lot. You know what I'm saying? Where's my book at? I was just listening to it. Might be on the next page. Hold on. And this book is pretty good too. This is talking about how there goes food Americana. So how the stories behind like fried chicken. So they're talking about fried chicken on here. They were talking about barbecue and how barbecue was started, came from Spanish word barbacoa, all these different things, the historical context to a lot of food. So one of the places like the birthplace of fried chicken is Gordonsville, with the Raider Carriers. So we want to pay homage to them in the store. So these are things and ideas that you get from, looking at books like this. But yeah, that's about it, homie. And that will conclude the weekly tap in for this week. Man, I certainly appreciate you guys tapping in as always, man. But please share this with somebody who you think may benefit and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss another episode. And we will see you on the next one. Tapping out.